Here is an Algérie meta Showdown fleet that does not include Bismarck Zwei and still has over 90% win rate, which is insane because Bismarck was made for this boss, and this boss was made for Bismarck, and no other ship came close. But you know, Bismarck Zwei is the next PR to rerun after Implacable, so this fleet will only be useful for a few months. Also, if either the new Rainbow Gun or Raffaello, the new BB, makes my fleet obsolete in 3 days, then you can laugh at me and I'll cry. And unfortunately, its required investment is quite high, so if you're here for a consistent one-shot fleet to use for yourself, then good luck. Like a lot of my videos, this won't be useful for the average player to copy, but I hope you enjoy learning about some innovative endgame strategies and obscure game mechanics. I'm showing consecutive wins in the background while explaining the fleet and gear. Then I'll show the results and final projected win rate of all the tests I did. Let's start with Lala. She has a 2-second vacuum every 4 times she fires her CA guns. This vacuum is inconsistent to time properly. It's shorter in duration, it's weaker, and it's positioned worse compared to Bismarck's Black Hole, but we'll make it work. This St. Louis gun is HE. It's very suboptimal against multiple medium armor enemies, but it reloads at the right time. If Lala shoots twice in every 5 seconds, and assuming her guns always have a target in range, then the vacuum activates every 10 seconds, starting at about 109 or 110 on the time left. That also includes every 20 seconds, so 60, 40, 20. Conveniently, a carrier with 20-second reload will launch airstrikes at 58.5, 38.5, and 18.5 seconds left. So I have Lala begin vacuuming the pillars, then Nahimov and Soyuz strike. Then Lala finishes vacuuming, and Nahimov freezes all the enemies in place. That usually stacks 1 to 3 pillars on top of Algérie, which means Nahimov and Fritz do great damage with their rockets. Max reload tech on CVs and BBs with this gear gives 20 seconds for Nahimov, 20.4 seconds for Fritz, and 20.4 seconds for Soyuz. If you only have 2 LA9s, Fritz can take a BF-109G and lose the beacon, putting her at 20.25 seconds. The damage loss is fine, and the fleet will still be quite consistent. Kazagumo is quite self-explanatory, just boosting carrier damage. Now, what the heck is Ting An doing here? Because munitions ships suck and have DPS comparable to Bulin's. Well, 10% aviation stat is a decent buff, and this battle extremely strongly favors main fleet damage over vanguard damage. But the most important reason is that Ting An is slow, and a slow vanguard means that Lala is more likely to stay in the middle of the screen. That's also why Lala is in the off tank, despite being the tankiest vanguard ship here, because the off tank moves the least. I want Lala to stay in the middle so that she's always firing her guns as soon as they finish reloading. Going faster or slower due to RNG can mess up the run. By the way, on the in-game gear screen, I had the best results when the St. Louis gun shows exactly 4.40 seconds. So at 0.4 seconds volley time and 0.2 seconds animation time, that makes 5.00 seconds. Sometimes it'll be 5.0 seconds, and sometimes it'll be 5.1 seconds. I do want the delay, but 5.1 seconds every time would also be too slow. So I let the game choose randomly between 5.0 and 5.1, which makes the average vacuum time for the third airstrike good. So that's the fleet, and now the tests. I have limited coordinates and limited tries before I reach 70k sync, so I quit some battles if I'm certain to win. For example, before the third airstrike, if Azur has 30% HP left and Lala stacks 2 pillars perfectly, or 3 pillars decently, then I know I'll win and I'll quit the battle. If it's close enough though, I'll let the battle play out. It could end in a win or a loss. And here are the final results. In addition to the 5 runs in this video, I did 41 others. The 5th one was a loss, and I let 8 other battles play out before running out of coordinates. 0-13 means the battle ended at that time, 13 seconds left. And this 0-04 meant that the airstrikes barely missed killing the boss, and the Vanguard took another 10 seconds to finish her off. So in the end, I got 45 out of 46, which is 97.83% win rate. So I think it's safe to say the win rate is at least 90%.